I would welcome you to the practice. Today we will work a bit on the foot strength, ankle, mobility, stability, and we'll discuss the connection of how we standing, how we're stepping to the rest of the posture of the body. So let us still spend a couple of first minutes in a comfortable position on the floor. And as you scan your body, check how you feel in your hips, how you feel you placing your heels on the floor. We are in a supine position, straight legs for a change, having arms a little bit apart. And notice how, don't change anything, just find yourself here, and as you're scanning, check how far apart you placed your heels, how far apart your toes falling when you're in this relaxed supine position. And then just imagine, you don't need to know all the bones, just imagine from the ankle joint, the bones comes to the knee. How you feel your knees pointed, if it's pointed straight up toward the ceiling, is it slightly angled out? And then the same you're going to do with the bone that comes to the hip, and just change, just visualize how this bone, and it's a ball socket joint, how the end of the bone sits in the socket of the hip. How you feel it, just to visualize that. Keep everything relaxed right now. Keep everything natural, how you would go, lie on the floor, and how you will keep your legs, how you will keep your pelvis. Check if you arching in the lower back, or keep pelvis flatter and keep relaxed abdomen area, and feel comfortable, or you feel you're really uncomfortable and you're arching. So check this area as well. And then from here, without changing the position of the right heel, let's turn the toe toward the midline. So you have your internal hip rotation, and check, hold this toe turned in toward the midline, and just check where you start feeling tension. It should be on the lateral side of your hip, lateral side of the knee probably. See if you feel that your hip want to come off the floor. It should want to come off the floor, because you internally rotate the hip. So I give you the cue to rotate the toe, but the whole leg rotate inward. And let's release the right leg back. And maybe notice if it went a little bit further out, maybe not. And let's do it with the left. So keeping the left heel where it is now, just turn your foot inward toward the midline of the body of the mat, and scan the left side of the body. Scan your shin, scan your thigh, feel how the bone that we previously told sits in the hip socket also rotates. So we are really, with a very easy movement, finding this connection between the foot position and the hip alignment. And let's release back out, and maybe notice if your toe even went a little bit further out. Let us now bend the knee. So this way, what's happening, we are fixing the foot position, right? The foot now flat on the floor. and try to keep the foot flat without lifting the foot. Try to drop your knees to the left. And you will find that you can't go too far without lifting the feet from the floor, right? So try to keep them down and just go as far as you can go with the feet flat. And then come back to the center and then go opposite. So when the feet are flat, we have a little bit different range. Your hips are also flat, right? So we lock in the ends of the chain, the foot and the hip, and then rotate. And then return back to the center. This time let's bring the feet together and let's open the knees out into Baddha Konasana. This time I'm asking you to bring your feet together like a traditional and have your external rotation of the hip. And just change how you feel right now. How low your knees goes toward the floor here, where you feel the stretchy sensations. You might even feel it in your knees. You definitely feel this inner thigh stretch here. And maybe use your hands just to press a knee, one knee at a time, and kind of rock your Baddha Konasana from side to side, like a little bit. And with this, feel how this ball into the hip socket moves a bit. Okay, and then let us bring the knees back up and bring one knee at a time to the chest, into the hip flexion position. So really squeeze. And notice that when you bring your thighs to your chest, you want to take your tailbone off the floor. Try to get neutral position of the pelvis. So it means you're trying to keep the space in the lower back and still try to press the knees as hard as possible. I don't think we ever tried this. So I'm pretty sure you're going to what you get used. Rounding back, right? So you're pressing your lower back down, pressing the thighs, but now just release a little bit your pelvis. So get pelvis back to neutral, but continue to press the knees. Notice how the range changed a little bit. Like you have a little bit of a space between your thigh and the rib cage. So experiment here and keep your shoulders also relaxed. All what we do, you try not to let your top trapezius to help you. We don't need them. And then at this time we'll just rock a couple of times and then come into the seated position. And right away into the tabletop position. So let us just warm up a little bit the spine. Of course, we're going to be going through the flows. So the spine should be ready to go through those flows. So let us go into the cat and dog stretchers. Also finding how the breath helping us here. Get your long inhalation, lift your chin. Get your long exhalation, tuck the tailbone, send the crown of the head to space between the hands. Let us go one more time. Exhale. And then come into neutral position. Bring your knees a little bit closer to the midline. Extend your left leg. And I would invite you to press your heel back as far as you can to feel stretchy sensation in the calf. So like even use a little bit of the hands to like going backward and press the heel away, feeling stretch in your calf. Just a little bit of a stretch here, and we'll do this to the right leg. So extend your right leg, tuck your toes, and press the heel away, stretching your calf here, and then bring the knee back in. So this time we're gonna tuck the left toes, but this time I want you to think of pressing the toes down, but taking the heel and knee forward. So you want to flex your toes as much as possible. So without creating too much stretch in the calf, you just tucking the toes and stretching the whole sole of the foot. So see how far you can bring your knee forward while your toes are tucked, and you feel a lot of stretch sensation in the toes. So basically toe stretch, okay? And then let's tuck the toes, get them straight, and we'll do the same to the right. So tucking the toes and pressing them down to the floor, but at the same time trying to take the whole lower leg forward. So stretching the toe, flexing them as much as you can. And let's release. Let's now tuck both toes as much as you can and start bringing the body weight to the heels and sit here. So if you're finding that you need to help your toes, so pinkies go here, and let's interlace the hands in front, and just twist from side to side a little bit, the upper back mobility here. So it might be very uncomfortable for you if you are trying to keep yourself straight. So try not to be folding forward. Tuck the tailbone. Just warm up here a little bit, and let's release. So come back into tabletop and just tuck your toes, massage them, shake your legs, and then we'll tuck the toes one more time to lift the knees off the floor. And here you might have your feet a little bit apart, and try your best to lift your heels high when you're dropping the hips toward the heels. So trying to get as high on your toes. And here we're gonna balance, bring the hands to the knees and balance. Here you can have your arms in front if you need for balance, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands down to the floor and drop your heels. Allow a little bit of a stretch sensation on the back of your legs. You can bend your knees one at a time. If you can't reach the floor, you can be a little bit higher with your hands. Extend the knee and feel some hamstring stretch, and then very slowly come up into the standing position. And the next one will be our toe lift. Most of the group are very familiar with this exercise. I know I'm a little bit far away from the screen, but most of you know that. So we want to spread the toes, and we want to lift big toe in separation from the other 4 toes, and feeling the work of the arches of the feet, and then press the big toe down and lift the other 4 toes up. Okay, and go up and change that. So this exercise you have to do every day right now as we come into the winter season, when we are we're not walking bare feet at all. We're all the time in boots. We need to keep our foot muscles active. So all what you need to do is spend a couple of minutes, 5 minutes a day, just to exercise all the small muscles of the feet. And this is just a simple exercise. We will start adding some extra exercises through the season. But this one, I know you're familiar. It might be really hard for you to activate the muscles to lift your big toe, so then you can press with your fingers, the 4 toes, lift the big toe. Notice how your arches of the foot active, and then press the big toe and lift the other 4 toes. Try not to collapse with the knees together. You're still trying to keep your arches active. So go your best, and remember, this is before brushing the teeth. You need to do this, okay? Very simple exercise. Okay, and then let us just walk from one foot to another. Let's come to a couple of tippy toes lifts. We already warmed up the toes, so we should be pretty good here. And if you are not in the back of your mat, go to the back of the mat. And we're going to come to the tippy toes. And we'll, on the tippy toes, we'll walk very, very tiny steps to the front of the mat. And when you reach the front of the mat, hold here, press the big toe, and then release. Shake your legs. Let's come through the couple of standing part of the sun salutation, and then we'll continue with the feet and ankles. With inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, folding forward, releasing the head down. Feel a stretch on the back of your legs. Bring the hands on the shins, lift the chest halfway. Check if your body remembers the head, here, and then unfold all the way up. Inhale, exhale, bring the arms on the sides of the hips. Let's go again. Inhale, stretch. Check here how you distribute the weight on your feet. And then exhale, folding forward all the way down. Make sure that the body weight goes from the toe to the heel, not on the toes and not on the heel in separation. And then bring the hands to the shins. Hip hinge here, neutral spine, unfold all the way up. Inhale, exhale, bring the arms on both sides of the hips. Let's do it again. Inhale, lift. Keep arch active. Engage your glutes to maintain neutral pelvis. Exhale, folding forward all the way down. Release the head. And then bring the hands to the shins. Come into the half fold. This time go toes, heels. Bring your feet together. Take a moment to make sure that you are not coming too much forward, coming on your toes, or locking your knees. Knees are soft. You're in a hip hinge here. Bring the left hand against the right knee. Bring the right hand to lower back. Twist to the right. And then come back to the center. Reset yourself. Bring the right hand against the left knee and twist to the left. Keep your upper back straight. I see some upper back rounded. Your chest is coming forward. Your tailbone coming back. Unfold back and then release down. Exhale and then very slowly roll up into standing position. Exhale. And you should be right now with the toes and heels together, right? And I want you to notice, bring your arms on the sides, even maybe closing the eyes, but you're going to find that even with closed eyes it will be more challenging. Hold the balance here. Engage your glutes. This is something that we always say, that feet parallel will give more support for the body. I want you to notice how now to hold the body up straight, you're like shifting, right? You need to balance here because your support is just a smaller surface for the hips and torso. So notice that. Notice how the body weight shifts here a little bit, how it's much harder to maintain the straight position balance without movements. And let us separate the feet and come to the outer edges of the feet here, and allow yourself a couple of very, very small squats. And as we are practicing those squats in a wrong way, right? But it's a controlled wrong way. Just check how you need to stabilize your ankle, what's happening on the lateral side of the knees, how your hip bones rotated again here. So go a couple of times with just about, so you have to be on the outer edges of the feet. But can you take your feet parallel, maybe a little bit wider, and your knees, when you're squatting, knees should go out. Yeah, that's much better, yes. So what happened here? Some of us, to get to the outer edges, need to step wider. Why that? It's because of our hips. Hips are not allowing us to be here with the feet parallel, right, in a locked position. So we need to step wider. Okay, let us shake the legs. And we're gonna step, again, you need to find the width of your feet to be able to come to the inner edges, and we're gonna bounce here just to warm up the medial side of the ankle and knee and get into the internal rotation. And again, some of us need to be really wide, some of us can go pretty close. And you feel how your inner thigh is now activating here. And try not to let the knees to touch, just keep them parallel and feel this movement. A little bit different work for all the small muscles. And come up and shake your legs. Great. So let's return back to the front of the mat, and we'll come through the couple of a full sun salutation here to continue warming up legs now. With inhale, lift the arms up, reach. Bring the palms together, exhale, fold forward. All the way down into the full fold. Step in the left foot back and stay right away into high lunge. And let us in this high lunge anytime if you need. You can use the blocks for support. I want you to come forward as far as you're able to go with the heel on the floor. And then maybe using the blocks, move yourself backward to press the back heel away, coming probably to 90-degree knee. So again, move forward as far as you can. You can drop your hips down, feel a bit stretch here, and then go back and feel stretch all on the calf muscle. One more time. Come forward. So compressing the ankle, compressing the knee, compressing the hip, stretching the opposite hip, and then go back, compressing the ankle this time, feeling work of the left leg. We'll release the blocks if you use them and step into the downward dog. So this is the first downward dog of the practice. Take your time to find the distance between hands and feet. Keep your knees soft if needed. Press yourself up and back, and I want you today to focus on your ankles. Think of pressing the heels down toward the floor and bend your knees as much as you need to get the heels as low as it's possible, as low as your ankle flexion allows you. So in a downward dog, surprisingly, ankles, mobility, ability of the ankle to flex is one of the key restrictions to keep comfortable position. On next inhale, step your right foot closer to the midline. Step your left foot forward. Again, welcome to use the block, low position or high position. And then let's move with the left knee forward and then press the right heel back. Come with the left knee forward. Come again with the right heel back, compressing the ankle of the back leg. Coming forward, compressing the front ankle, front knee, front hip, and go back, feeling support of the back leg. Again, releasing the blocks and stepping with the left leg back into the downward dog. Finding downward dog, and again, paying attention of how you feel in your ankles and how much you need to bend your knees to get your heels low position. On next inhale, look forward, walk to the front of the mat, exhale here, and let's very slowly come up into the standing position. Exhale. Let's go to one more flow. With inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, folding forward all the way down. Stepping the left foot back and use the block here to start with. Bring the tip of the fingers on the block, lift your torso. So I just want to have a support of the block because I want you to check your front ankle front shin knee. You should be 90 degree. And I want you to find the comfortable distance of the back foot where your front knee is 90 degree, but you feel that you're pressing the back heel down. The back knee should be absolutely straight. You're using the hamstring of the back leg. And then you lift the torso up without changing the 90-degree knee position and taking the arms up into the warrior one. Continue to focus on the back leg, engaging the whole back leg. You're right now on this edge of your left hip extension. So you feel some stretchy sensation here in the left hip. On let's exhale, step the right foot back into the downward dog. You can walk your dog from one foot to another foot, and then when you're ready, step your left foot forward. Use the blocks again for a bit of a support to adjust. So all of us will have a different distance. So play with the distance to get your front knee 90 degree, ankle 90 degree. Make sure that you are distributing the weight equally on the front foot. Press the back heel down and then lift the torso up. So feeling now stretching sensation on the right hip. This is your end range of the hip extension, and modular hip flexion on the front leg here. Take the arms up, hold here. Check how you may be shifting the weight on the front foot. We will challenge that even more next time. Step the right foot back. Exhale, and then look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Exhale here, and let's very slowly come up into the standing position. Okay, most of you know what we'll explore next. We're going to take our folded towel, so that gives us a little bit of elevation, and we place it on the center of the mat, and we'll step the right foot on it. So before we're going to go into more advanced poses, let's just lift the left toe and get used to this uneven surface. So just lift the left foot and let your nervous system to get as to hold the balance. So you're feeling how the foot is moving a little bit, and you need to stabilize. We think that we need to stabilize with ankle, and yes, of course, it's the first joint that stabilizes is the ankle, but then it comes to the hip, and more you engage in your right glute, more stable you feel yourself here in a core, and then it's much easier to radiate the stability back and keep your foot flat on the uneven surface. Towel in our case. And let's go to the other foot. So just prepare us to a little bit more advanced exercises. So step your left foot, and first lift the right foot, and then check how the left foot responds to that, how it's moving, how you need to do this pressure of the big toe. So we started with a lift of big toes and four toes, right? So here you need to keep your right foot grounded. That's going to activate your arches. And now just pay attention how you squeeze in your glutes, engage in the abdomen, and keep yourself here balanced. Yeah, so it's all come. The core strength is so important here to get it back to the stability on an even surface. Yeah, great. Okay. Shake it all, and let's just go a little bit further. So we're gonna have a right foot on the towel, and we'll step the left foot back. And don't go into the super wide position, maybe a little bit closer than you practice your sun salutation. And get your hips, shoulders all square. And just now notice how you start involving your knee much more here in this bent position to actually stabilize your foot. And that's where the knee injury comes, as we using the knee to stabilize. So knee comes inward and we're putting a lot of weight on the knee, and that's where the injury of the medial ligaments happen. So try to engage your upper leg muscles here, but still use your glute, right glute, and use your back leg. Just hold yourself here and try not to let the knee to fall in. Keep the knee straight forward. Keep pressing your big toe, and let's take the arms up. Hold here and just draw this from the feet up, from the top down, maintaining your embraced core here to maintain the balance. Holding. Very good. Very stable legs I see on the screen. And let's release. So shake your legs and we'll go to the left foot. Step in the right foot back again. It's not a super wide position. And first find comfortable. Wider you go, more challenging that will be for the front leg. You realize that. More of a strength you will need to use of the back leg. So if it was too easy for you, you're welcome to step further back. Go a little bit lower with the hips and still control the knee with the inner thigh with having, so don't let the foot go to the outer edges as well, right? So you getting it here. Core, back leg is all what I'm asking you in your lunges. Again and again and again, back leg gives you support. Take your arms up, hold. Solid knee, knee goes forward. Don't let the knee to come in. Draw the line from the center of your thigh to the knee and forward. Your line should not go to the right corner of your room. And release the arms and release. Great. Okay, let's continue to experiment today. So we're going to come to the again on the towel with the right foot. This time you can face the front, so front camera, as we're going to lift the left knee up. Okay, so once you lift, you continue to hold. As you're lifting the left knee up, yes, you need to work on the balance of your right foot, but also I want you to get your maximum flexion on the left knee. And if you like, you can take your arms up, you can take your arms to the side, you can pull the arms in front, whatever help you. Here now, there's a lot of shaking in your right ankle. Keep using your right glute to stabilize the right hip, right knee, and down to the ankle. Keep lifting your left knee higher, 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 higher. And let's release. Excellent. Go into the left. Step in the left foot here on the towel. And right away, before even trying to lift the foot, engage the glute and the lift. And then just go up, 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 up. And hold. Okay, we see Oksana upside down. That's really interesting. But yeah, just engage here, hold. And release. Okay, so that was a static position for the lunges and static position for the hold. Let us now to add a little bit of dynamic, because we are not standing the whole day. We are walking, right? So we need to now bring our experience, our knowledge of the nervous system into the dynamic movement. So we're going to come into the a lunge. And it's not really a very wide lunge. Okay, and from this lunge, from your extension of the left hip, you start bringing the body weight to the right foot. Try not to lean forward. Think of going up. Lift your left knee up. Get it a hold. Immediately use your right glute. And then extend the left leg. Bend your right knee and step back. And try to go as smooth as possible. Go on your own time 5 times. Lift. Have a hold. Then extend this hip to the maximum extension. Soften in the right knee. So you sit above your hip, drawing the weight back and ground. Engage the core. Again, shifting the weight just a little bit, not as a fold forward. Just a little bit forward. Lift. Balance. That's number 2 only. We have 5 to go. Extend. Feel your glute on the left side. And then step back. Again, coming up. Holding. Core is the key in the static position. Glute stabilization of the standing hip is the key. And then step back. Here's the back leg. Again, that's number 4. I know your right leg is burning, ankle is burning, foot is burning. It means that the muscles are working. And step back. And the last time. Come, lift, hold. Your crown of the head always up, never to the front. Go back. And release. I know you love it. Shake your legs. And we have a left ankle, so it might be weaker. It might have previous injuries. It might be much harder for you to do, but do your best and focus on which muscle you need to engage to maintain your balance. So bring your left foot on the towel, and let's start from the lunge. So get your lunge here. It's not very wide lunge. Back leg here gives you support, front knee 90 degree, shifting the body weight forward. And this is a very, very challenging way because we love to use the quad, and I'm asking you to use your hamstring and glute. Lift your right knee up, balance. Then extend first, have here a moment, and then start bending the left knee again. Hamstring and glute of the left leg are helping you here, not the quad. Step back. Shifting forward. Lifting the knee up. And going into extension. And stepping back. Again, coming, lifting, holding. Going into extension. Stepping back. Again. That's number 4 already. We're almost done here. And going back. Have it here, hold. Feel your hamstring and glute. Step back. And one more time. Coming here, holding. Keeping chest open. Relax shoulders. Don't work with your traps. Get the leg back into extension. Feel the opposite hamstring and glute. Step back. And let's release. Great. So if this was a fun, we'll go into a little bit more. So I want you to have a resistance band. If you don't, you can use it without, you can do it without resistance band. It's very similar. If you attended Tuesday, we practiced that. So you want to have your resistance band under the right foot and under the towel if you use it. And you have it, yeah, you just take your palm in front and stretch it up. If you're not using resistance band, So just ground yourself and take your left arm up and make a fist. Like pretend that you do have a resistance band here, right? If we're practicing with resistance band, this is like really, this is just a reference for us. So we are activating the oblique, left glute here, even a left shoulder and arm to help us to be stable. We're going to lift the right leg off the floor. And here we go to abduction and adduction. And abduction and adduction here. And make sure that your left side of the body is not moving at all. Okay, and don't go like relax right leg, right? Just, I want you to go to abduction. Keep your foot flexed and feel your lateral side. And then come and hold here. Engage your inner thigh. And again, and you're still holding. I'm releasing that because I want to use my left hand to show you. So I see it's working for all of you. That's great. Keep stabilizing your left hip to go here. So no changing in the upper body, no changing in the hip. And we move the leg out and in. Very good. Very good. Excellent, everyone. I thought it would be challenging, but it's not because we prepared our nervous system. Let's shake. So you might feel that it's a little bit different spot on the left hip that burned right now because it's a little bit different part of the body that need to stabilize, not so much of the back, but now on the side. So let us practice this on the right. So get your really stable right side of the body, engage the glute, really stable foot. We already know how to do that. Notice how we go and more challenging, but it's becoming easy and easier for the foot and the hip. And extend your left leg. And bring it in, hold, extend, no changing in your right side. And bring it in, and extend, hold, and bring it in, and extend. Excellent, everyone. Higher you can go, more challenging is for the other hip, of course, right? So that will already, abduction, adduction of the left hip, and bring, but I'm letting you to decide how far you can go. Control it. And one more time. And lift. And bring it in. And release. So probably you felt much more of your core work. So core work is not just crunches. Something like that is also the core work. Okay, let us take our props away. I'm pretty sure mentally you're exhausted to go and focus. Let us just flow and enjoy the movement of the body. So come to the front of the mat, stretch, fingers down to the floor. See if you right now like feel more stable in your hips, if you know how to align them. And let's with inhale, lift the arms up. Bring the palms together, hinge from the hips, exhale, release the head. Step the left foot back into comfortable lunge. You know where you should be. Front knee is not overloaded, back leg supported. You take the arms up, reach up, but feel grounded. Feel your front foot is grounded. You're not on the inner edge, you're not on the outer edge, you're really solid. Inner thigh is controlling the knee. Bring the hands on the floor and stepping into downward dog. Exhale, head between the arms, long spine. On next inhale, let's float to plank, and then just drop the knees and come down. Exhale. Let us take the arms on the sides of the hips. Because we worked leg today, let's focus more on the leg work. Let's lift the feet off the floor, knees straight, lift the chest, take your arms off the floor. Keep working with the back of your legs, below hamstrings, and very little extension in the lower back. Exhale, come down. Bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage. Press yourself into cat stretch. Just a contour pose for the lower back. And then tuck your toes. Exhale, come into the downward dog. Stepping the right foot forward. Stepping the left foot back into lunge. Using the back leg coming up into the warrior one. Holding that 90-degree knee, back heel reaching down. So use your maximum flexion of the back leg to engage the hamstring with a straight knee. On exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Step into downward dog. Exhale. Flowing into plank. Dropping the knees. Exhale, come down. Same variation, arms on the sides. Lift the legs, working a little bit of a posterior chain strength here. Squeezing the shoulder blades, shoulders goes back, don't lift your chin high, neck is neutral. Exhale, bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage and press yourself into the child pose. Exhale, rounded spine. Taking the breath here. And then as we come up into seated position, we're coming into seated position with the straight legs, Upavishta Konasana, wide angle. And let us start with pressing the feet toward the torso, straight knee. And I would like you again to experiment with moving the toe in and toe out. And as you do that, just have this line on the center of your thigh shin and notice how this goes in and out and feel your hip. So restriction here happening from the hip very often. Try the other leg, in and out. So the knee is locked. And remember, I always say, when you flex your foot and knee is locked, movement in the hip. So foot have to be flexed, not to create any overload to the lateral or medial ligament of the knee. Okay, now from this position, we'll just bend the knees in 90-90. So having your left shin parallel to the back side of the mat and having your right side parallel to the front side of the mat. Okay, and feet are flexed. And now if you need to have a support, you always can lean on the left hand. I want you to lift the right knee off the floor. 90 degree, you look forward. I know you have a screen and so you just look forward and drop. So when you're lifting, control that your knee is not coming forward. So all what you do is just lift this, how that this right knee was on the floor 90 degree, that's how you lift it up. And the left knee is on the floor. Left knee is on the floor and drop it down. Let's do it one more time. I want to see everyone doing this the right way. So lifting. So lifting, like you can shift it parallel to the floor, the right leg. And come down. So let us go to the other side. So set yourself in 90. Right foot is flexed. Right knee is on the floor. If you need to lift your left hip, you see my left hip is far from the floor, especially on the left side. If you need to lean to the side to maintain your torso up straight, you can have the support of the right arm and lift the knee up parallel to the floor. It's a very uncomfortable movement. So when you're lifting, your knee not shifting forward, you still keep it into extension. It's like almost end range of your left hip extension. So the end range for me is here, so I'm here 90 degree. Drop. And then lift. And drop. Okay. Let us go back into the 90-90 with the left leg in front. And I'll just remind you, most of you are familiar with this move. It is a little bit more challenging. We're going to lift like we did now, and then we're going to bring this right shin to be parallel with the left. It feels like you are balancing on the left hip, and then you open here, keeping straight. You sit on both sit bones, heel above the heel. Then we're going to shift it back on the one side, move it back, and then drop down. Okay, let us go again. You look straight forward, you embrace in your core again, lift it, bring it like parallel to the floor here, and then open, external rotation. Keep all aligned on the center, knees are open. Now let's close again, but without touching the knees. And then slide your right leg back, hold, and drop. And again, lift. Bring it in. Open, sit tall, close, slide back, and drop. Okay, let us just shake the legs. And we have the same sequence of 3 moves on the other side. So set your right shin parallel to the front edge of the mat, and the back parallel to the back. Again, depending on the mobility of your hip, you might lean more to the right. Let's lift the left knee and bring it in. Balance here. And then open yourself. So here, heel above the heel, knees open, you're all on the center. And then you're closing and shifting back, trying to keep your shin parallel to the floor, balancing. Core work, drop. So that's the hip mobility. So it's really true hip mobility with combination of the core strength and leg strength, because we need to use the inner thigh and the quad and the hamstring to hold the leg in this position. Going back in, move it back, holding. This is a lot of glute work. And come down. And one more time. Take it up, move it in, and open. This is like a rest in the between. And come back. And shift it back and drop, and let us bring the legs in front, shake them a little bit. And I know we all love the boat pose, so let us just practice the boat pose to put a bit more of a core work to our practice today, because without the core strength, it's really hard to hold the balance in space. So start with the toes touching the floor, and let us start with a rounded back. So bring your chin down to the floor. So I want you to distinguish between the rounded back, because this is not the boat pose, and now use the hands to take your chest forward and get yourself into straight spine. Let's do it again. Bring the chin down. This is your rounded. It's like someone is punching you into the belly, and you rounded your lower back, and then press the chest forward and get neutral spine. Your gaze should come then up toward the ceiling. One more time. Rounded spine. It's like we're doing the cat and dog stretch, but here we have an end range, so we can't go into extension because of the hip position. And now as you get here, in the straight spine position, lift your toes. Balance here. This is your first variation with the arms off the knees. The second variation is to lift the heels, keep chest coming forward, take the arms away. Or the full one, straight legs, arms away, holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.5, and 1. Bring the soles of the feet together, round the spine, exhale. Relax your arms, let your knees fall, Exhale here. Let us now bring the right knee across. So bring your left leg straight, bring the right foot across the left knee. Bring the right arm behind the back and very gently twist. Exhale here, use your breath, use your relaxation to go deeper into this twist. And fold back. Let's change the legs. Extend your right leg, bend your left knee, hug your right knee, keep your left arm for the support. Twist to the right leg straight. Right foot outside of the left knee, left foot outside of the right knee, and you're twisting. And let us find the Shavasana. Start slowly reaching down with the head. If you need support, support the head with a folded blanket. Take your arms wide and extend your legs one at a time. Take them comfortable wide. Take a couple of exhales to let your four corners, two shoulders, two hips find the way, and then think of your palms and heels to find their position. And as we practice in Shavasana, I want you to be aware of connection to your lower body that we hopefully built through the practice today. Gentle moves will return through fingers and toes. Bend your knees one at a time. Maybe swirl your knees from side to side, letting some hip movements here. When you're ready, keep your knees on one side, roll all the way to that side, and with the help of the arm, bring yourself back into seated position. You can cross-legged, adjust your ankles. Try to externally rotate your hips. Have your hands on the knees and allow yourself to reach up. And then bring the hands into the heart. Take a moment here to admit the end of the practice. Without analyzing what your body and your mind learned through the practice, let it all sink in our systems to be taken when it needed through the functional movements of our daily activities. I would like to thank you for your great energy, and I wish you a beautiful and warm day. Namaste.